All right.
No, thanks, folks. You can take a seat. All right, good morning. I'm Commissioner Procco. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for May 23rd, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar as well. All right, when you hear your name, please step up to the podium that's in the center of the courtroom in here. At the end of your hearing today, you are going to be receiving some paperwork. That's going to cover everything we go over in here. So that'll include your next court dates as well as all of your release conditions. For those of you who will be out of custody prior to your next court date, I do recommend contacting the court in advance of that date so you can verify your hearing details. You can also check to see if there are other ways of appearing, since some of the courts are still allowing virtual appearances for some hearing types. Please keep in mind you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded, both audio and video, and could be used in a future court proceeding. We do have Tyree Miller Paulding up next, or first, and then Michael Senkin up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Tyree Rashad Miller Paulding, February 1st, 1989.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. The charges here that I did find probable cause on are 3 counts of criminal damage. One is a Class 6 felony, one is a Class 5 felony, and one is a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is a 4th charge that was submitted for burglary in the 3rd degree, which I did not find probable cause on. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going away, but I was not provided with enough information here today. So the public defender's office has been appointed. Or actually, this one was supposed to be OPDS, wasn't it? Yes. Okay. I might not have saved it when I did that earlier. All right, so it's actually through the Office of Public Defense Services. And then in this matter, the court dates you have at this time are a status conference May 30 at 8:30, evidentiary hearing May 30 at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing June 2nd at 8:30. So I show you're currently on felony release in your other case that you have pending at this time, okay? Because you're on felony release at the time this new offense allegedly occurred and probable cause were found on 2 of the felony counts, you are required at this time to be held without bond. That means you're not eligible for release. So that is why we set that evidentiary hearing. That's the court date I'm required to set here today in order to allow the court to review that status, so your non-bailable status. Either way, you do have orders in here that you're not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in the case. So that's whether you're in custody or out. Do you have any questions regarding this? All right, sir, if you want to go and step over, that information will be provided to you in your paperwork as well that you'll get momentarily. And we've got Michael Stankin and Sabrina Seymour up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Michael Henry Stankin, 6283.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a warrant that was issued for your open felony matter. That's CR 2014-15538. Looks like you were just extradited back into Arizona. You now have a status conference set on June 2nd at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did affirm the bond that was set in your warrant, the last one that was issued back in July of 24, and that's a $55,000 cash-only appearance bond. So this is different than that bond that you had before, which has already been subject to forfeiture. So this one's the cash that you do have to post that full amount, okay? Do you have any questions regarding this?
It's pushed all the way up to June 2nd?
I'm sorry, your next court date, June 2nd, is correct. All right, so we do have Sabrina Seymour. Gabriela Zapata is up after that.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Your full name and date of birth?
Sabrina Seymour, 730-96.
All right. You said 7:30 of 96?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you do have 3 separate cases here today. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the new matter that just came in. This is going to be for a new case out of Superior Court. And this is for 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale. That's a Class 2 felony. 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. And 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on May 30, with a preliminary hearing June 2nd, both at 8:30, and that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did receive a written recommendation from the state in your matter requesting a $50,000 bond. I did take a look at your probation notes, since you're currently on felony probation, did see that you are at least currently in contact with probation and have maintained that, but I'm also going to take into account the nature of the offense that you're now here for, which does include a sales charge, which is a Class 2 felony, and potentially a prison required term if you were convicted in this matter. So also you do have another open felony matter here as well. So you do have a bond, that's a $10,000 secured appearance bond. Your next case is that other open matter. So this is going to be for a warrant that was issued for a direct complaint that's been filed. The charges there are 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, both Class 4 felonies, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. That has a date of offense of December 11 of 2024. So in that matter, the public defender has been appointed as well. You have the same court dates, which are the status conference May 30, preliminary hearing June 2nd. And in that matter, I just went ahead and did the $50 bond, so that way they know you're in custody in that case as well if you don't post that first bond, okay? Now, your probation matter is the third case that's here, and it's here now for a Term 1 violation. So in that matter, you also have the public defender appointed, revocation arraignment hearing set on May 29 at 8:30. In that matter, there is a $500 secured appearance bond. So I think it's $10,550 for all 3 matters. If you do post bond and are released from custody, you're still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by those terms, including contacting probation within 72 hours. Any questions? All right, if you want to go and step over, we'll get your paperwork for each of those matters there. We have Ms. Zapata, Gabriela, and then Brian Jordan up after that. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Gabriela Zapata, 04/22/1994.
All right, thank you. So you've got 4 separate cases here today. I'm going to go ahead and start with the new case that just came in. So this is going to be for new charges in Superior Court. And those are 1 count of fraudulent schemes. That's a Class 2 felony. And 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which was submitted here as a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in that matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set May 30 with a preliminary hearing June 2nd, both at 8:30. And in this case, based on a review of your history, specifically you do have the prior felony convictions, but you're also on felony probation and multiple matters here as well. You do have a bond. That's a $1,500 secured appearance bond. Your orders are going to include that you not return to the scene of the offense, not have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, or co-defendant. That is going to include Mr. Carr, who's in the courtroom, who will be coming up here shortly, okay? All right, actually, I still have your 3 other cases. So your other matters are all your probation cases. They're all here today for Term 1 violations. So in each of those, public defenders appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set May 29 at 8:30. Each of those is a $250 secured appearance bond. So I think it's $2,250 altogether, if my math is correct.
Okay.
So just keep in mind you're still on supervised probation, so contact them within 72 hours if you're released.
Okay.
All right, any questions?
That's it.
All right, if you want to go and step over, we'll get your paperwork for those cases. All right, so we have Brian Jordan, and then after that, Buford Carr. All right, Mr. Jordan, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Brian Jordan, 12/21/1991.
Excuse me. All right, sir, so you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. The charges in your matter are 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession of narcotic drug, Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, that's a Class 6 felony. And 1 count of failing to admit to carrying a weapon, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. Those are the counts I did find probable cause on here today. There is an additional count for possession of a weapon during a drug offense, which I did not find probable cause on. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going away, but they did not provide me with the correct information here today. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set May 30, preliminary hearing June 2nd, both at 8:30, and that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, I do recognize you do have the prior felony convictions. I did receive a written recommendation from the state requesting a $2,500 secured appearance bond, primarily because I do see that you were arrested for almost the same exact charges just about a couple months ago, although I do recognize no charges have been filed in that matter, at least not at this time. You do have a bond, and I do believe that recommended amount is appropriate. So you do have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. You have the same orders that you can't possess weapons while on release. Okay? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. If you want to go and step over, you want to pick up that paperwork. All right, and Mr. Carr, and then Kevin Lambkin will be up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
D for car, 4890.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. Your charges are 1 count of fraudulent schemes, Class 2 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which was submitted as a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in your case, the Legal Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You have 2 court dates set at this time. That's going to be a status conference May 30, preliminary hearing June 2nd, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Based on a review of your history as well, I am going to be setting the bond. It's the same one that I did for your co-defendant, which is a $1,500 secured appearance bond. You have the same release conditions also, that you're not to return to the scene of the offense or have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, witness, or co-defendant. So again, that does include Ms. Zapata, who has already been in the courtroom here. Do you have any questions regarding any of that information?
No.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and pick up your paperwork there if it's ready, but you can have a seat at this time. Thank you. All right, we have Kevin Lampkin, and then Franz Shamoun will be up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Good morning. Kevin Raynard Lampkin, 112388.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a probation violation warrant that's been issued. So in your probation matter, there was a petition to revoke filed alleging a violation of terms 6 and 7 of your probation term. So the public defender's been appointed for you. You do have a revocation arraignment hearing set May 29 at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court. And in this matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. So this is a $1,000 secured appearance bond. If you do post that bond and you are released from custody, you're still on supervised probation. So you do still need to contact probation and otherwise comply with the rest of your terms.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you'll get that information in your paperwork as well, including contact for probation in case you still need it. All right, so we've got Mr. Shamoun, and then Thomas Day will be up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Franz Shamoun, December 5th, 2006.
All right, thank you, sir. So you were here for a new case out of the El Mirage Municipal Court. The charges here are going to be 1 count of criminal damage, 1 count of disorderly conduct, those are both Class 1 misdemeanors, and 1 count of assault as a Class 3 misdemeanor. So in this matter, you will have an attorney appointed to represent you because these are considered domestic violence offenses in nature, but that gets handled by the court that has your case. So that'll be addressed at your next court date at the El Mirage Municipal Court. It's going to be an arraignment hearing May 27 at 8 a.m. So in this matter, based on the nature of the offense that you have here, the nature of the threats that were alleged in this matter, as well as a review of your history, which I know you don't have adult history, but you have extensive juvenile history, including prior assaults, we do have a bond in this matter. That's a $1,000 secured appearance bond. Now, if you post bond and are released from custody, given the nature of the offense, you are also going to be ordered not to return to the scene of the offense, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. That means you would need to find an alternate residence. If you need to go back in person in order to obtain any necessary personal items, you can only do that in person using a civil standby. That's by contacting local law enforcement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if you want to step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. All right, so we have Thomas Day up next. After that, it's going to be Randy Lomahima. Hi, Mr. Day. Go and state your full name and date of birth.
Thomas Day, date of birth 12/07/1988.
All right, thank you. So you're here for a warrant issued out of the town of Wickenburg Municipal Court. Their case number CM 2024-115. So in this matter, an arraignment hearing's been set May 28 at 9 a.m. That'll be at the town of Wickenburg Municipal Court. I'll let you know in your warrant, they specifically said do not release OR. So the bond in there has been affirmed. That's going to be a $1,000 secured appearance bond. Since a bond has been posted in this matter, I am appointing counsel to represent you as required by Rule 6.1. It's for the bond issue. Okay, do you have any questions regarding that?
Is that bond for my release today?
Yeah, you'd have to post that bond prior to release. So if you are able to post the bond, you would be released from custody, assuming you have no other holds.
Okay. Yeah, I have no way of...
If you're unable to post the bond, you would remain in custody and get transported out to attend that court date.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, from here. So that's how that's...
Yeah, either that or they do it virtual. I don't know how they set it up at the jail. They'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like I'll be here for a while then.
If you're unable to post bond, then yeah, at least until that 28th court date, so you got 5 days until then.
Oh, until the 28th?
Yeah, May 28th. And at that point, it's up to them as to what happens to you.
And then the $1,000 bail will take effect?
So the $1,000 bail is effect right now.
Okay.
You would have to post it today in order to be released.
Oh, yeah.
or prior to your court date in order to be released.
Okay,
Okay?
right.
All right. Any other questions, or does that
No,
make sense?
That pretty much covers it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Loma Gila, and then Vanessa Perez will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Randy Lance, Oklahoma. Date of birth is 3/13/86.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here for a probation violation warrant that was issued back in February. That's for a petition to revoke that was filed alleging a violation of terms 3 and 15. I'm assuming it's 3 and 5. Let me double check and make sure I got the right ones here. Oh, it is 3 and 15. Okay. So it's alleging a violation of terms 3 and 15 of your probation terms. So you do have a revocation arraignment hearing set May 29 at 8:30 a.m. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. An attorney has been appointed to represent you. That'd be through the Public Defender's Office. And the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. That's a $1,000 secured appearance bond. Now, if you do post bond and are released from custody, since you're on IPS for your level of supervision, you do need to contact probation within 24 hours rather than that standard 72.
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. Thank you, sir. All right, so Ms. Perez, and then Shannon Scott up after that. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Vanessa Perez, April 22nd, 91.
All right, thank you. So you've got 3 separate court dates here.
Oh.
So I'll go ahead and start with the Superior Court matters, which are here today because a bench warrant was issued in each one of those. That's CR 2020-127-299 and CR 2020-127-297. So in each of those matters, you now have a status conference set May 30 at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in each warrant has been affirmed. So each one has a $900 secured appearance bond. So it's $1,800 total for both of them. Now you do have another warrant here, and this is going to be for a warrant that was issued out of the Goodyear Municipal Court. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing is set May 28 at 8:30. That would be at the Goodyear Municipal Court. And in that matter, because it's a post-adjudication warrant, I did lower that down to a $50 bond. I'm doing that because I want to make sure they know you're in custody just in case you don't post those other 2 bonds, okay? All right. So because I did set a bond in that matter, I did also appoint counsel to represent you for that issue as required by 6.1. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right. If you want to go ahead and step over, go ahead and have a seat at this time. All right. So we have Shannon Scott and then Krista Rothstein will be up after that. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Shannon Marie Scott, 6/16/86.
All right, thank you. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. They are both your probation matters. Each one is here because a warrant was issued for a petition to revoke filed last August, alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation terms. The public defender has been appointed for you. You've got a revocation arraignment hearing set May 29, and the bond in each warrant's been affirmed. Those each have a $500 secured appearance bond. You do need to contact probation within 72 hours if you do end up posting bond and do get released from custody. Do you have any questions regarding that? All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you, ma'am. All right, we have Krista Rothstein, and then Divana Etball will be up next. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
May 18th, 1978, Christopher Rothstein.
Thank you, ma'am. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. The charges here are going to be 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs. That's a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. That's a Class 6 felony. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on May 30 with a preliminary hearing June 2nd, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Based on a review of your history, which includes multiple prior felonies, but my main concern is you've got like 20 prior failures to appear listed. So for that reason, you do have a bond. You've got a $500 secured appearance bond. Do you have any questions about any of that information that I just
I can't make the bond.
If you're unable to post the bond, that doesn't mean that you would remain in custody, at least until your next court date. That's when you go in front of your judge on May 30.
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, so we've got Ms. Ethelbaugh and Bradshaw Clark up next. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Divana at the bot 12/15/1996.
All right, so you're here for a bench warrant that was issued. So this is going to be in CR 2025-119341. So in that matter, a status conference is now set on June 6th with a preliminary hearing, June 10, both at 8:30. And those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did take a look at your history. It doesn't look like you have any other prior failures to appear. This is your first failure to appear in this issue or in this matter. You were released on your own recognizance last time you came through here. If I give you a second shot to appear at your next court date while being released, are you going to appear on June 6th?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to give you a second shot. You are going to be released this time. It's going to be subject to the supervision of pre-trial services.
Yes.
So before you go, you're going to get their contact information and their instructions included in your paperwork. You do have to stay checked in with them while on release. I'll just let you know if you fail to appear at that June 6th court date and another warrant issues at that time, probably not going to have the same luck next time you come through, okay?
Okay.
All right, any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. All right, so we've got Bradshaw Clark and then Joseph Worth will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Bradshaw Danette Clark, February 26, 99.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a warrant that was issued out of the Desert Ridge Justice Court. So this is an initial arrest warrant that was issued in your matter. So in other words, it's not a failure to appear warrant. It's a warrant that was issued in lieu of a summons.
Okay.
So that is for one count of DUI, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor with the offense date of June 1 of 2023. So in that case, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a arraignment hearing set on June 9 at 1:30. That'll be at the Desert Ridge Justice Court. You'll get the address in your paperwork. Since this is an initial arrest warrant, not a failure to appear warrant, I am going to be releasing you on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
you have any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. All right, we have Joseph Worth, and then Floyd Dietrich will be up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Joseph Worst, July 1st, 2004.
All right, thank you. So you're here for a warrant that was issued for a direct complaint that's been filed. So this is in Superior Court. The charge is one count of burglary in the third degree, Class 4 felony, with the offense date of September 29, 2024. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on June 6th with a preliminary hearing June 10th, both at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Because I don't show, or I can't show, that you received notice of the summons that was sent out in this case prior to the warrant being issued, I am going to follow the PSA recommendation here. You are being released on your own recognizance. That it's going to be your promise to appear.
Yes.
Your release orders do include the terms that you are not to return to the scene of the offense or have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. Do you have any questions regarding that?
Do I have any more holds?
Ask them.
Okay.
They'll let you know. It'll be on your card if you do.
Okay.
I don't know,
Thank
since I
you.
only had this matter.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I didn't see any holes. Did you see the holes for 2B? No. It might. All right.
All right, so we've got Floyd, Derek, and then Heather Rigger up next. I'm sorry, it's Mr. Dietrich, isn't it? I think
Yes.
I said it wrong the last time. Go ahead and state your full name and date of birth.
Floyd Dietrich, 4/29/1965.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging one count of criminal trespass in the first degree. That's a Class 6 felony. So the public defender has been appointed for you. Your court dates are going to be a status conference set on June 6th with a preliminary hearing June 10th, both at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, based on your otherwise fairly limited criminal history, I am going to follow the PSA recommendation here. You are being released on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear. Your release conditions do, however, include the terms that you are not to return to the scene of the offense or have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. So can't go back to that vacant location, okay?
Okay.
Any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, that'll be in your paperwork as well. Thank you, sir. All right, so we have Heather Brager and then Jonathan Ortiz up after that. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Heather Brigger, 11/24/1982.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a warrant that was issued. This is for a direct complaint that was filed. It's alleging 2 counts of possession of narcotic drugs. Those are both Class 4 felonies. 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. The date of offense for all 3 counts there is going to be June 20 of 2024. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A status conference is set June 6th. Preliminary hearing June 10, both at 8:30. at the Superior Court. And in this matter, I don't show that you received notice of the summons prior to the warrant being issued, so I'm going to follow the PSA recommendation. You are being released on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear. Do you have any questions about that? All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's over there. All right, so we've got Jonathan Ortiz and then Rodney Lewis will be up after that.
Morning.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Jonathan Ortiz, December 4th, 2001.
All right, so you're here for a page 2 that was issued for the warrant out of the McDowell Justice Court, which was issued while you were in custody here. I did take a look at your 2 open cases, at least, that you have in Superior Court. It looks like you've been released in those matters. Is that correct? Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because it shows the petition to revoke was dismissed without prejudice, and the other charges have not been filed, at least not yet. Okay, so they vacated those dates as well. Do you have any other holds at this time keeping you in custody, or was it just those 2 matters in Superior Court?
I think these 2, I believe. Last time I was here, I had a Tempe hold.
Does he still show a Tempe Municipal Court hold?
Yeah, there's a Tempe hold on there.
Okay. What's going on with the Tempe case? Because I'm trying to figure out what to do with you here in this case so I don't get another warrant issued for you. Because I was going to release you because I thought you were getting released absent this case right here. Do you know what's happening with your Tempe case? Are you going to be held in custody for a while on that?
It should be pretty much already like 24 hours already, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so you believe you're getting released at least within the next week in the Tempe matter?
No, I don't believe.
Okay, you're not getting released.
I don't have any information on the Tempe.
You don't know, okay. All right, so, because here's what I'm going to do. So originally I was going to release you in this matter and set a hearing for June 11 at 8:30. The other thing I can do is if you're still in custody on this Tempe matter and you don't know what the status is, I can always set a placeholder bond in the amount of $50, and I'll put in here that it is a placeholder bond since you were in custody when the warrant was issued. That'll accelerate your hearing. You'd have the arraignment hearing May 29 at 8:30. That way you can attend the hearing while you're still in custody on that Tempe matter as well. Do you want me to go ahead and do that? Because here's what's going to happen. If I release you in this case, and then you're still in custody on that Tempe case at the time of your next court date, which would be June 11th, so there is some time there, a warrant would issue for you again. So you're just going to kind of go through this cycle again. But I can release you in it if you think you're going to get released from the Tempe matter on June 11th. I'm just trying to make it so they don't issue another warrant for you unnecessarily.
I'll just be released.
I can release you. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to leave this the same. I'll just put that you were in custody at the time warrant was issued. I'll put the release being on your own recognizance. So this will not be a hold on you. So I just want to warn you that if you are still in custody, at least on June 11, when your court date comes around here, I would recommend contacting the court to let them know to see if they can reschedule your court date, okay? Because if you're still in custody on June 11th, because I just released you in this matter, they're not going to know you're in custody. They'll issue another warrant, okay?
All
You
right.
understand what I'm saying?
Understood.
Okay. All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's over there.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Rodney Lewis. After that, it'll be Christina Gutierrez. All right, Mr. Lewis, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Rodney Lewis, August 15th, 1968.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, which is a Class 4 felony. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed here to represent you. Your court dates at this time are a status conference June 6th, preliminary hearing June 10th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I do recognize this is a weapons charge, which of course is taken really seriously in this jurisdiction. However, I do also recognize that the prior felony convictions you have that triggered you being a possessor or prohibited possessor are from the 1990s. Okay, so it is for that reason I'm going to be releasing you today. So you are being released on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear. Just need to make sure you follow up at the June 6th court date, okay? Any questions regarding that?
Yes, Officer Hanny that arrested me, he wanted me to ask you about restoring my rights and how to go about that.
So
He
talk
was
to
very
your
adamant.
attorney. Talk to your attorney, especially given the age of your convictions,
That's what
and
he
they weren't
said.
violent convictions either. Talk to your attorney, it'll be through the public defender's office, and ask them what the process is. Now, you have out-of-state convictions, so it has to go through that court.
Okay.
So you'd have to find out how to do a restoration of rights through that state.
I kind of do, but it's so backed up in Illinois, and it's so funny now.
Yeah.
That was the crazy part about it.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it here in Maricopa County as long as those convictions are there without the restoration of rights. But talk to your attorney and see if there is something else you can do. I know it's a little more difficult with the out-of-state conviction, but it's certainly worth looking into.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.
All right, so we've got Christina Gutierrez. All right, Ms. Gutierrez, please state your full name and date of birth.
Christina Gutierrez, 12591.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So you are here for a fugitive of justice warrant. This is for a warrant that was issued out of the state of New Mexico. They were notified that you were arrested on the warrant and did both verify the warrant and confirm extradition in your matter. So in this case, you were given that laminated sheet. Did you have an opportunity to take a look at it? That laminated sheet is basically the language for waiving extradition here in Maricopa County. And I'm going to go over both of those options so you kind of know what you're looking at here for that, okay? But I just want to make sure you're aware of what you were reading. So your first option here is you can waive extradition. You'd be waiving the rights that are provided on that sheet. So if you opt to waive extradition, what happens is we'd be notifying New Mexico that you are ready to return at this time, okay? You would have no further hearings here in Maricopa County for this matter. You would be held in the Maricopa County Jail non-bailable until New Mexico comes to pick you up. Now, New Mexico, in turn, would have 30 days starting tomorrow to pick you up on the warrant. Now, that 30-day time frame starts tomorrow unless you have any other local open cases. If you do have any local open cases, the 30-day time frame wouldn't start until the conclusion of that case, okay? I'm not aware that you have any, but I just want to make sure you're aware of that, okay? So that's if you want to waive extradition and return to New Mexico on this warrant. You do have a second option here, and that's not to waive extradition, at least not at this time. You'll have the same option at your next court date if you choose not to waive extradition here today, okay? So if you choose not to waive extradition, I'd be setting a fugitive of justice or extradition hearing on June 2nd at 1:30. That would take place at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I can't appoint an attorney to represent you at that hearing because these matters are considered civil in nature, even though it's a criminal case out in New Mexico. The actual extradition case, which is what you have here now, is actually a civil proceeding. You do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you, and I'll also note there are public defenders who are often present at those hearings who can provide assistance. There's just no guarantee of that, okay? Now, in that case, the New Mexico warrant indicates that this should be a non-bailable warrant. In other words, I should hold you in custody without bond, no matter which direction you go here today. But because it does appear to be a failure to appear warrant rather than a post-adjudication warrant, in other words, a probation warrant or a parole warrant, I do have to set some kind of bond, but it is going to be a significant bond, at least at this time. That would be a $50,000 secured appearance bond. So this, if you choose not to waive extradition and have your hearing here in Maricopa County, I'd be setting a $50,000 secured appearance bond for you. Now, the process there, if you choose not to waive extradition, is that a governor's warrant has to be issued by the governors of both states, so of both New Mexico and Arizona, in order to extradite you back there. That process can take up to 90 days, so that can be a longer process. That's the time frame they have to execute the warrant, okay? So first, do you have any questions regarding these options that I put here for you? Do you know how you want to proceed today?
I'm just going to waive it. They come and get me.
All right, so you want to waive extradition and go back to New Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I need to do is I need to ask you a few questions here, and I just need to have you answer out loud, because I need to determine that you are making a knowing and voluntary waiver, okay?
I did this last time, so I know.
I understand. All right. So did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork, which was that laminated sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that you do not have to sign the waiver of extradition here today?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you have the right to demand an extradition hearing here in Maricopa County?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you have the right to hire an attorney at your own expense for that hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you have the right to demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before your return to New Mexico?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you Also understand that you would have the right to bail, that being that $50,000 bond, if you choose not to waive extradition. If you choose to waive extradition, you would be held non-bailable till New Mexico picks you up within that time frame.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to give up these rights I just listed in order to sign the waiver paperwork?
That means like forever to come get me?
That means we're going to have New Mexico come get you.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure you understand you're giving up those rights here in Maricopa County to do that.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Okay. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything in order to get you to sign the paperwork?
No.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication within the last 24 hours?
No.
All right. Based on those responses, then, I do find that you are knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily signing the waiver, and I'll be signing it as well. I am directing the Sheriff's Office to notify New Mexico that you are ready to return. They will then have 30 days from tomorrow to pick you up unless there are local charges pending. If there are local charges pending, that 30-day time frame would start at the conclusion of that case. All right, we're going to have you come up here and sign a few times on the pad up here. All right, and she'll let you know when it's ready. I just signed it. Is it being finicky?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe try and push down a little bit harder. Sometimes it just doesn't read it when you go through. All right, give us just one extra second. We'll get the actual paperwork printed out so you can sign that instead, since it's not being cooperative. Do you want me to have her just go have a seat? Okay. All right, yeah, if you want to go ahead and have a seat, where she's going to have to run back and make a copy back there and bring it back in, and we'll give it to her. So we'll pause for a minute here. All right. While we're waiting, I'll go ahead and put our house calls on record.
Still need to everyone.
Is she waiting outside then? Oh, okay, all right, then we'll go ahead and continue before I'll put the house calls on the record in just a little bit. All right, so we can see if Mr. CV is ready to go with his attorney back there. We can have him come in.
Good morning, Judge.
Hi, good morning. All right, Mr. CV, if you could state your full name and your date of birth, sir.
Quinn CV, January 12th of 1997.
All right, thank you. And counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. David Campbell with DM Cantor. Our office represents Mr. CV for the limited purpose of this morning's IA.
Okay, and Mr. Campbell, I don't show a notice of appearance. Did you already submit one?
I did.
Okay, it just hasn't been uploaded yet then. Okay, but you are just doing this for a limited period at this time. I don't need to see it. I just want to make sure it was there.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. CV, you are here for a grand jury warrant that was issued. And this is for an indictment that's been filed here in Maricopa County Superior Court for one count of luring a minor for sexual exploitation. That is a Class 3 felony. The offense date listed in this warrant is going to be December 5th of 2020 through December 18th of 2020. So in this matter, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the Public Defender's Office, since I do show that you likely qualify for court-appointed counsel, and that's just because Mr. Campbell's just done a limited notice here today. If you continue to retain the services of an attorney, your own attorney, they'll just file a further notice of appearance and take over at that point, okay? All right, so at this time, you do have an arraignment hearing set on May 30 at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in this warrant is a $25,000 secured appearance bond. This is obviously the only information I have on this entire case, so those typically do get set here at IA court. But Mr. Campbell, if you want to address that, I'll let you do so.
Absolutely. Thank you, Your Honor. We would ask for release on his own recognizance. This is a situation that he had no idea that there was an outstanding case in Arizona. Obviously, this is an alleged date of offense from 2020. With a warrant date from 2022. He recalls speaking with law enforcement in the summer of 2022, and it was his understanding from that conversation that nothing was going to come of this situation. He waited a full year into September of 2023 before making the decision to move to California to help support his parents, who are now in retirement. He also moved to California with his fiancée. Again, part of that move was to support his parents in retirement. His fiancée was also experiencing some significant mental health issues here in Arizona, and moving her out of this environment was to help support her as well. He is a primary financial contributor to his household. He works, and he has worked since September 2023 as an inventory manager and an engineer at South Bay Cable in California. And again, through that employment, he supports his mother and father in their retirement and his fiancée. Holding him over here in Arizona would be detrimental to that household. He has no prior criminal history. He has no drug and alcohol history. He has no history of domestic violence. This is a situation that does not indicate that he poses any sort of risk to society or risk to the community. He's not a risk to himself. This is something that, had he known this existed here in Arizona, he would have certainly brought himself over here voluntarily to answer for this and address these things. When he was picked up on the extradition warrant in California, he did waive extradition so he could get here as quickly as possible to get this taken care of. Our ask is that he be released on his own recognizance with the ability to travel to and from California so he can continue to work and support his family while also coming back and appearing for court appearances so he can handle this case. That's the primary ask. If that is impossible, if it is not possible, I'm sure anything's possible. If the court is not so inclined to allow him those release conditions, he does have family here in Arizona. He would be able to reside in Arizona in Surprise with his fiance's parents. That is less than ideal because he would still lose his job in California, and he would no longer be able to financially contribute to his parents in their retirement and his fiance in California. But again, he poses no risk to the community, no risk to himself or to anybody else. He's not a danger to be released, and he's not a danger of non-appearance. He wants to answer for these things. He's retained private counsel for the purposes of today's hearing. Had he again known that this existed, he would have brought himself here voluntarily to take care of these things. And he's not going to ignore this or run from this. He didn't run from this in 2023. He didn't know this existed in 2023. For those reasons, Your Honor, that would be my request.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Seavey, I have no reason to doubt the information that your attorneys provided. But like I said at the beginning, this is a case where the only thing I have is the charge that's here in front of me. I don't know any other information regarding the case, and I do see that you don't have any other criminal history, so I'm sure that can be taken into account down the road. But at least here today, given the fact that the only thing I have here is an offense which is considered to be a dangerous crime against children, I'm not going to be changing what's already been ordered in that warrant, okay, here at the IA. So I am going to be affirming the bond that was set in there. That's a $25,000 secured appearance bond. It is secured. You are able to work with a bail bonding company in order to post that amount. Now, if you do post the amount and are released from custody, it would be subject to the supervision of pretrial services, and electronic monitoring has to be ordered here today. That's pursuant to Arizona law, given the nature of the charge that you have here, which does mean you can't travel back and forth to California. The electronic monitoring will not allow that, okay? So if that becomes an issue down the road, that's going to be something you can further discuss with your counsel about whether or not that can be lifted, but at least here today, it cannot be. That cannot be changed. So at least here today, you would have to remain in Arizona even if you post bond and are released from custody, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so you are going to have orders here that you're not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. There might not be one in your case, given the nature of your charge here, but just in case, I have included that in there. I've also included that you're not to have contact with any minors. Do you currently have any minors residing in your household, either the one that you would be staying at here in Arizona or the one that you have back in California?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to leave that in place here at this time, okay?
Okay.
All right. So that will be included in your paperwork, but anything else that we need to address with respect to this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get that. Has that already been signed, Martha? That one's already been signed, right? Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and get that paperwork over to you, so you can both have copies of it. That'll have your court date in it as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and I did tell you that that was going to be that May 30th court date. I believe I already went over that. Okay? All right, sir. If you want to go ahead and wait just one moment, we'll get that paperwork over to you, as well as your attorney.
And then I'm going to take a minute to
Yeah, if you do want to, I'm only got like 5 more minutes in the courtroom, and then they'll probably have you clear out. But yeah,
Okay.
Feel free to go back there as long as we're still in session here.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Rodriguez, which I show is our last matter, at least here in the courtroom. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Pablo Rodriguez, May 31st, 1997.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a warrant that was issued, and this is for a direct complaint that's been filed in the Maricopa County Superior Court. The charges are 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. That's a Class 2 felony. 4 counts of sexual exploitation allowing recording. That's also a Class 3 felony. 4 counts of luring a minor for sexual exploitation, Class 3 felony. 1 count of attempted sexual exploitation of a minor, Class 3 felony, and 1 count of threatening, intimidating, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. The dates of offense in this matter range between October 1 of 2022 through, looks like July 25th of through November 17 of 2023. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on May 30 with a preliminary hearing June 2nd, both at 8:30, and that'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in your warrant's been affirmed at this time. This is a $100,000 cash-only appearance bond. Now, if you were to postpone and be released from custody, it would be subject to the supervision of pretrial services with electronic monitoring to be added prior to your release. That's required by Arizona law. And you're also going to have orders not to return to the scene of the alleged offense or have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. You're not to have any contact with any minors, so any individuals under the age of 18. Do you currently have any minors residing at your residence?
No.
All right. I'm going to leave that as is without any exceptions at this time. Do you have any questions regarding this information?
Would I be, if I was to bail out, would I be able to go back to California, or would I have to stay here?
No, you're going to have to stay here.
Stay here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So because you've got that electronic monitoring in place, that requires you to remain within Maricopa County.
Okay.
Okay? Unless they can make further arrangements, which would be done down the road, not here today.
Okay.
Okay? But yeah, even if you postpone, you'd have to remain here at this time.
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions?
No, that's it.
All right. If you want to go ahead and step over, we'll get you paperwork on that as well. All right, I will go ahead and go through our house calls that we have here at this time. The first one's for Marissa Ubali, date of birth 9/5/93. I show she is a house call due to being in ISO medical. She's here for a warrant that was issued out of the Goodyear Municipal Court. That's in CM 2021-00369. A arraignment hearing is set June 11 at 1 p.m. at the Goodyear Municipal Court. This is a failure to pay post-adjudication warrant, so she is getting released on her own recognizance in this matter. Next matter is from Mario Lydell Williams, date of birth 11/23/93. I show he is being a house call today due to being unable to function within the general population here. He's here for a new case out of Superior Court alleging 1 count of burglary in the 3rd degree Class 4 felony and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. Public defender has been appointed. Status conference set June 6th with a preliminary hearing June 10, both at 8:30. And in this matter, he is getting released to pretrial services supervision with additional orders not to return to the scene of the offense, have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. Next matter is for Jasmine Faust, date of birth 2/10/91, who I show is a house call today due to being unable to function in general population. She's got 2 separate matters here. Both of these are probation violation warrants that have been issued. Petitions to revoke were filed in each matter alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5. Public defender has been appointed. Revocation arraignment hearing set on May 29 at 8:30 at the downtown Phoenix Superior Court. And she is getting released in lieu of the nominal bond that was contained in each of these warrants. And I don't show she has any other prior reinstatements in this matter or in either matter. So she is getting released on her own recognizance subject to the supervision of her probation officer. Barton Neal, date of birth 9/7/61. I show he is a house call due to being combative. He's here for a probation violation warrant as well. Public defender has been appointed. Revocation arraignment hearing set May 29 at 8:30. And in that matter, the bond in the warrant's been affirmed. That's a $250 secured appearance bond. All right, I show that is everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recorder.